What is going on, everyone? My name is Northy and welcome to the second last round review. Yes, I missed the preview again. You do not need to tell me. I've just been busy. I've just been trying to get a hell of a lot done. That's all I can really say. There's no making up for it now. I know you guys have your ways and get angry at me for not getting you guys this stuff quick enough. But nonetheless, we've got today's round 23 team coach review. So as per usual, I'm very keen to have a look at how we did. As I said yesterday, it's looking a little better. It's looking pretty good. So I'm keen to show you guys how we did overall. But of course, if you guys find yourselves enjoying this video and want to see more like it, be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Everything is always very, very much appreciated. And I mean, we can pretty much just jump right into this. We've got a lot to go through, so I'm keen to have a look at how we did. And here we are, and I didn't even realize the top 4 last week was insane. And look at the top 4. If you only had the St. Kilda best and fairest, you were living good last week. You were living very good. You can see Hogan is the only one not a St. Kilda player. Steele, Wilkie, Marshall. Wow, that is a very, very good week for St. Kilda, obviously in that game against the Cats where they came back, so a big one for them. But nonetheless, we are going to talk about the entire weekend in this one. First off, you'll see who I tipped, and we had ourselves a bit of an interesting one. 6 out of 9. Not a bad one at all. That is fairly average, but at the same time, I would have liked to get a few more. Some here and there that I didn't expect to go certain ways, but we managed to get the Sydney one right, the Giants one correct. I guess that one right. Could have gone Freo's way, but it went to the Giants. Hawthorn beating Richmond, fairly obvious. Gold Coast losing to Melbourne by a lot. God, that just sums up how annoying and poor Gold Coast have been this season. But Brisbane losing by 1 to Collingwood, that's another interesting one, was in Melbourne, so I guess the home and away advantage there. But St. Kilda beating Geelong, as we mentioned before, by 18 points. A massive comeback, massive turnaround for St. Kilda. Just a little bit of happiness in a year of tough results. Speaking of, Dogs beating North by 96, I thought it was, but it's saying here 97. Is there really that much of a difference? It was just a tough game to watch. There is a vlog coming out tomorrow for it, so you guys can go ahead and laugh at me there, but that'll be a fun watch. Nonetheless, Port beating Adelaide in the showdown, and Carlton beating West Coast in a game that, honestly, I'm very, very impressed with Carlton's performance. Didn't expect that. I thought it'd be a lot closer because of all the outs. So, good on Carlton, keeping their season and finals hopes very much alive. But yeah, 6 out of 9, much better than the 22s, 3 out of 9, so improvement. There's improvement here. We'll take it. Then we go over to our Star Powers game mode, and Star Powers actually looked really promising. We can have a look here. This is my Star Powers crew. No St. Kilda players, which ended up being the bad thing about it all, but at the same time, like, this team was pretty good. We had the Bont with his 117. We had someone else with a little bit better, like Steele, 148. I don't think many people are going to pick Steele, but man, that's a good game from him. Dawson as well, a great one in the showdown. Dacos having a regular one, or at least one that should have been regular for him this year. Brayshaw having his up game, so that's good for him. Anderson, well, despite the poor performance overall from his team. Rosé was okay as well. Thank God we didn't pick Goulden. And Bontempelli's 117 did us wonders this week, so happy days there. Then we move on to Treloar. He had himself 119. Another very good week outside of Butters, who we have picked before, so he could have done better. But Treloar's 119 is definitely nothing to scoff at. The second or third best out of them all, so that's good. We will take it. Then we move on to defensive dynamo. We had Lockie Whitfield. Not a bad game at all, 115 from the man, and that was second best to Callum Wilkie. He's had the occasional game where he just pops off, and he's very important for St. Kilda when they really, really need him. When he's having great games like he has in this situation, good things come from it. So 135 absolutely shows that off. But Whitfield's 115, pretty safe, and a very nice result there. Second best, and by a good margin, really kept us in it. Then we had Nick Martin's 121, absolutely smashing the next gen. That's amazing. We absolutely needed that. The 121, just topping a game mode, or topping a category, sorry, is really, really important with the Silver Star Powers game mode, so nice to see it at least. And then we had Dane Zorko, who was probably our least exciting one. The only ones ended up that were better were Wines and Yo. Gorn didn't even play that well, so Dane Zorko, not the worst pick. Definitely not the worst pick that we could have had. Maybe the worst pick out of star powers, but like it's not even that bad considering like it's very hard to pick Yo or Wines. I think more people would pick Wines. Oh, sorry, not Wines. More people would pick Yo at the moment, which is crazy considering Wines is not that far off of a Brownlow medal year. But Yo, he's just been more consistent, more 100 points. I think he's kind of been the one that people go to when it comes to like the standouts in poor teams. So there's that. But yeah, Wines in that Port Adelaide team definitely up there and doing big things for him. But overall, we got rank 15. We were so close to a prize card here. We did have ourselves Anti, otherwise known as Lucas, the AFL god down here. I hope my head's not in the way. I think I'm just in the way. There you go. Hopefully that's better. Lucas, the AFL god. There you are. Never mind. I'm still in the way. There we go. Lucas, there you are. I hope I'm out of the way. I've gone both ways now, but yeah, you got yourself 9th place and a prize card. Good on ya. I was 8 points off if I had changed up one. Like if I'd even just decided, hey, let's go Wilkie this week, which is probably the least likely pick out of them all. But if I'd gone Butters instead of Treloar, that would have been one. If we had gone Steele, if we had gone Dawson, Brayshaw, no, Brayshaw wouldn't have done it. But nonetheless, that is a really tough result. Overall, I can't really be too mad at it, but we don't get the reward for a good performance, and obviously we aren't in contention for number 1, so there's no point really not getting a prize card. If we're close, that's great, but it's not a success. So Silver, that is a good week, but not the best week. Let's look now at Ultra. Let's have a look. Now, a few things to point out again. We had Treloar, Whitfield, Martin, Zorko. We went through their numbers, and they were all pretty good. The only disappointment was Golden's 94. That was the only bad thing. We could have gone Rosie, could have gone Dacos. One of those guys would have done better. The prize cards, oh sorry, not the prize cards, the team star powers that were really good to start the year are just slowly falling off as the year goes on. And that's it's something to really worry about, honestly. But the 94 double points is definitely not enough to get us where we want to be. We did get rank 40, which is not bad at all. I don't know how many points you needed for a prize card, but if we had picked Dacos, there's another 20 plus, oh sorry, times 2, make that 40, and we're very close to the top 10. So you could imagine just that one change would have gotten us over the top, which means we are brutally close once again to getting a prize card that unfortunately we just weren't able to get. It's just the roll of the dice, luck of the cards. I can't do much about it. So we have to just take it and move on. It's really annoying, absolutely. I wish we had done a little better, but 40 is not a bad result either. We're in the top 10 too, so that's a positive. But obviously, my faith and my excitement is more in the other game mode, which we will have a look at now. Top team. We had ourselves this top 4 lineup this week, and I was very happy with it. You saw Bond in the mighty section in the previous game mode. He had himself 119, so that's a pretty good week for him. Oh, sorry, 117 even. You can see a load of good performers. We had Tom Green having one of his usual, or one of his, maybe not usual, but more like out of the blue high point games. Butters did great. Viney did great. Which is one that I don't think many people picked. Neither with Steele. Dawson and Butters are pretty common picks. Brayshaw gets picked a fair bit. I'd imagine Martin is too. Dylan Moore is a sneaky one. He is getting consistent with this. Treloar's 119. There was the 119 that I was thinking of. He ended up doing 2 points better. And Bont, not that far off at all. 117 is a great score though. I am not going to complain, especially with the way the rest of the team did as well. Whitfield's 115, it was not the best, but it was great nonetheless. 115 is a 4, and Whitfield has remained a consistent scorer. A poor week last week was a bit of the outlier, but I'm really not stressed. Whitfield did amazingly well. And yeah, just the 3 people who beat him. Newman and Dacos are 2 that we had in top 18 as well. So like, pretty good week. Pretty good week for the backline. We checked the ruck, and Tristan, one of the rare weeks where he isn't the best. He's second best. He's 9 points off of Rowan Marshall. Rowan, of course, is one of those players who can have these types of games, so it doesn't surprise me too much. But Sherry has come off that many 154-point performances that I thought maybe he could do it again against a team that doesn't have Tim English, but North were just beaten comfortably all around the ground. So that was really annoying, but really good game overall points-wise from him. He did all right himself in terms of effectiveness, but honestly, considering his 150 games and how good he's looked in that, 120 doesn't even look that good. So, like, I don't know what that means, but Tristan Sherry is just one of many players who would not the greatest on the weekend. There were some very disappointing ones, for sure. I had to watch it firsthand. I know how that game went. But on the other hand, Isaac Heaney finally pulls off a good game when I'm playing him. It's no Jesse Hogan's 114. He smashed it this week, but Heaney's 94 is absolutely one that we will take. I will take 94 every day of the week. I wish it was a little better. In the 100s would have been great, but 94 is not something to get too angry about, especially in the forward. So high spots all around the ground, even in the midfield. We're seeing him just on the first set of pages, ranked 12, just sitting outside the top 10. So top 4 was good. Top 4 was really good, and it saw us get ourselves rank 38. Obviously, that could change up with a Jesse Hogan pick, but that's one that's pretty out there. We could have changed a little bit with the Nick Newman, but that's really picking at straws here. I think the main change had to be this midfield pick. Dawson, Brayshaw, Butters are probably the 3 I would have usually picked, or 3 that I could have picked. We picked Dawson at a time where he's got number 1, so there's one that I maybe could pick sooner rather than later, but Butters is probably the one I could have gone with most recently. But Bond, that's not a bad game from him. Not a bad game at all. It just, yeah, not good enough. Not good enough for a prize card. Top 10, it is a brutal game mode, this one. It is a brutal game mode. So, I'm not gonna, cry over it. I'm not going to get too stressed over it. I just wish it was a little better here or there. And then we're going to go over to top 18 now. We talked a lot about what we had. We had ourselves some decent games here and there from players all around the ground. Tom Stewart was probably one of the poorer ones in the back line. We'll start with the back line, but we mentioned how good it looked. Lots of green. That's what you'll love to see. Newman, Dacos, Whitfield, and Sinclair. Great stuff to see there, green in there. Stewart's 82 and Ryan 79. He looked like he was off to a great start and then dropped down to 79. Hopefully we caught a few people with the Dan Houston pick because he's been having some great games as of late, but this is below average, so definitely not what people expected. And Houston may be out. I'm not sure. A lot of people are saying 2 different things, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. Yeah, just a very interesting pick there for sure. And a very interesting game overall for the Port Adelaide side. It always is a showdown, isn't it? But backline did pretty well. Then we look in the midfield. Some offenders. First off, Merritt. Awful game from Zach Merritt. 64 is not good at all. Our 2 Dogs players. I often do stress a lot about Dogs players and putting both of them in, but our 2 Dogs players were our best players. So overall, this midfield was god awful. Merritt so far down there. Dunkley below average. Goulden below average. It's just only 2 players played up to standard, and you just can't afford it. And then we move to the forwards, who also had a pretty alright game. You can see 5 of them off the rip in the green, which is great. Just Ginnivan, of course, as soon as I chuck him in, has a poor game. It's just Ginnivan. It's just classic Ginnivan for me. I think I need to bite the bullet and take Jesse Hogan, because Hogan is just getting hit up so many times. He's a great target and looks on track for the Coleman medal. I reckon it's going to happen now. I think it's just formalities. I thought Kerno had to have it, but injuries, poor performances in the last stretch, and Hogan has absolutely smashed it as of late. So we've got a new Coleman medalist winner, I reckon. Really, really good stuff from Jesse. An amazing turnaround to his career, realistically. I know a lot of people wrote him off, so the fact he's now got a Coleman under his name is really an amazing achievement for Jesse Hogan. So good work to him. But the moral of the story, good forward line, good defenders, but if you don't have a good midfield, you don't see prize cards. Rank 57 is really, really tough. We're 40 points off of rank 20. So you just think, if one of these players, if Goulden had a normal game, he would have had, 111. There's another 20 points. Merritt, absolutely. If he had his average is 40 more than he got. Yeah. There would have absolutely been some players who would have gotten us some prize cards. So, the midfield. It's a tough one to guess, but yeah, it's let us down here this week. Anyways, that is all I have got for you guys. Yeah, so overall, considering the scores and considering, where we wanted to be, this is a really, really good week. I guess the only negative is the lack of prize card. That's really the only negative for the entire video, is that we didn't get a prize card this week. And obviously I would have loved one. Always love prize cards. We were 5 spots off in silver as well. Silver star powers is tough to get them, so yeah, it's just unfortunate. Just super unfortunate. One more week though. One more week to earn prize cards, so best of luck to you guys for your final week. I know a few subscribers managed to win this week, so good on you guys. Yeah, I mentioned in my Discord, it is getting so difficult now to win prize cards because of just the talent. The scouting from the Discord is incredible, really. So thank you so much for tuning into this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Only one more week to enjoy this stuff. My regular content, my regular weekly content is slipping from my grasp, but it's alright. We are enjoying ourselves still nonetheless. So thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.